Good afternoon. Thank you all for joining us here. We're very happy to announce the signing of the energy lease for the Annapolis Renewable Energy Park. To my left is Alderman Kenneth Kirby, and to my right is Alderwoman Sheila Finlayson. So I thank two of my colleagues for being here today for this historic and unprecedented agreement. This project's been a priority of mine and the council since we took office. And what we're doing is we're turning a liability into an asset. For those of you who don't know, the city of Annapolis has 2 landfills currently sitting vacant, costing the city money every year. We took a leadership role when we came in and said we're going to take something that's losing us money and now we're going to change it to something that makes money. So we signed a lease with an energy company who we're going to introduce shortly, and the city of Annapolis is going to make $5 million over the next 20 years on a land lease. We're going to have solar panels up there, creating green energy for the city of Annapolis, reducing our carbon emissions, and creating jobs for the local economy. This project was headed up by Ted Simporis, who was the project manager on it. It's my pleasure now to bring him forward to let him take the agenda from here. Mr. Simporis.
Yes, Ted Simporis and I have been serving as the project manager for the Annapolis Renewable Energy Park for the last several years. Mayor Panelides asked me to join him in his administration on a part-time basis. He had recognized that the privately developed energy park was a money maker for the city and an economic booster. And I'd had some experience in this in my days in the federal government, and it was applicable. We were a perfect match. So early on, I'm going to give you, in a nutshell, I'm going to try and tell you how we got from his inauguration to where we are today. We conducted a lessons learned review of what the city had previously attempted to do, and decided we would make the business approach here more simple, straightforward, in order to try to attract developers, experienced and qualified energy developers. We also did a market survey and found that when the city attempted to do this many years ago, it was at the forefront. In the meantime, approximately 80 landfills had been converted to energy parks. We learned this from the Environmental Protection Agency, who has a RE, which stands for Renewable Energy, Repowering America program. And as it turns out, our project will be the largest energy project under that program, in the history of the program. And we weren't aiming for that, but it just turned out that our project was perfectly sized for the East Coast, 80 acres. And of course, EPA is very excited that we're here as well. We came up with a kind of unique, innovative approach. And again, I applaud the mayor because he said, keep it simple, go straight forward and make it happen. And that's what we did. We kept our eye on the prize, which was revenue to the city. We were facing a serious deadline of the expiration of the federal investment tax credit at the end of December 2016. So we put together a group of people. We brought in some subject matter experts, former DOE technologists and energy production experts. We had 4 state agencies assisting us. We worked with Anne Arundel County, and through the mayor's office, we were able to gain these additional resources and get the priority within the city staff to make this happen. Simplistically, how this project will work for the city invests nothing more than it has invested in conducting the procurement. All of the investment, and I understand it will be close to $40 million, will be made by the developer. The developer will sell electricity from photovoltaic solar farm to others, and the city will collect rent and will get revenue sharing from these sales under a 20-year lease. The city also will buy a portion of that electricity, but the city's needs are much less than the park will be able to develop. This is a unique approach. We didn't find it elsewhere in our market survey, and I really applaud city staff for its willingness to try something different and to and to work with us in making this happen. This was presented to the City Council November 20 of 2014. The Council endorsed our approach, and we conducted the procurement, had 5 proposals. The best proposal, the best price proposal from a very highly qualified firm was the firm that formed a new joint venture entity called Annapolis Solar Park LLC, and the director of BQ Energy, Tim Ryan, be the principal in that venture. And Tim will now come up and give you some background on the development.
Thank you, Ted. It's a really wonderful pleasure for me to be here. I love Annapolis. I've been sailing here for many years, and it's a great place to be working on a project. BQ Energy has kind of a special niche. What we do is develop renewable energy projects, solar, wind energy, on brownfields and landfill sites around the United States and international. We're very excited to be working on the Annapolis landfill project, which is one of the largest landfill solar projects in the world. It will be particularly challenging and exciting. This project will add electricity to the power grid exactly where and when it's needed. It's close to where electricity is used, and at the right time when it's needed the most, which is on very hot days like sunny days like today. We applaud the leadership of the city, Mayor Pamphilides, and the City Council. We recognize their leadership in vision in transforming this landfill property into something that will be a long-term asset and a clean energy resource in the future. The project will, as Ted said, will sell power to the city of Annapolis and other governments and nonprofits in the region. As we move forward with this very large project, we will subcontract a very large amount with local companies as much as possible. For example, we hired a local engineering firm called McCrone to do surveys at the site for us. We'll do many more of that kind of activities. We are partnering in this project with 2 very capable firms led by Building Energy. Building Energy and ABM Industries will build and operate the solar project. It'll be finished before the end of next year. And we're very happy to be working with Building Energy and ABM Industries. And here to say a few words about Building Energy is the Managing Director for the Americas, Andrea Braccialarghe.
Thank you everyone. I'm probably the first Italian here in Annapolis since the city of Annapolis was formed, and I'm very excited that this is happening right now with a solar plant that are going to be built here. Very excited. Thank you to the mayor. Thank you to the administration that make it happen today. A few words about Building Energy and give you a background about the company. So the company is an integrated independent power producer in renewable energy worldwide. We have different plants in operation in all the 4 continents: Africa, Europe, Far East, and North America. Actually, this one will be the second solar plant here in Maryland, in the state of Maryland, and also the third one we have in the U.S. More recently, we start production and operation a solar plant in upstate New York for Cornell University. So very excited to be here. This will be one of the largest worldwide, and for sure the largest here in the U.S. once in operation. So we want to be sure that this will be a flagship solar plant for Building Energy and for the city of Annapolis. This is also creating a strong partnership with the city, of course. We are very proud to creating jobs here in the city of Annapolis, as well as we are creating jobs in everywhere in the world where we have local development activity ongoing. I would like to mention the biggest one that we have been working on in South Africa, in the Kalahari Desert, where we hired hundreds of people for the construction of the 81 megawatt solar plant in Katu in the Northern Cape. Of course, we will replicating here the lesson learned and the best practices to develop locally as much as possible. So again, thank you to the City of Annapolis. Thank you for the people that trust on Building Energy and BQ Energy to develop this solar plant.
I'll mention one, which is sort of unusual. This is a very large landfill, and usually landfills we put maybe 2 to 3 megawatts of solar on a landfill, and we have the other equipment off to the side. In this case, the closed landfill area is about 80 acres, so we need to do a little more engineering to have that other equipment right on top of the landfill. So that's an example. It's also in a part of Anne Arundel County where it's not too far away from where all of the higher voltage power lines are, but we are working with BGE to run some additional electricity out to the site because we'll be needing much larger power lines than what the landfill ever used. Yes.
I understand you're going to be using local contractors for the installation and maintaining the project.
Yes, the project will be built and operated by Building Energy and ABM Industries, and those are both very capable large organizations, but they have very few people dedicated to solar, and they're also pretty new to solar energy in Maryland. They built a project in 2014 in Baltimore County. And so there's, for this project, it's required to have labor to put the components together, electrical supplies that make up the facility, civil engineers or civil contracting firms to dig whatever trenches there are and put up fencing and so forth, plus other support services of food and everything else that goes into that. And so we're specifically looking to source as much of that as possible from local contractors and local hiring in Annapolis and surrounding areas. We're also, since the three companies, Building Energy, BQ, and ABM, are rapidly growing in the solar energy space, we're looking for college interns to support our own efforts for this and other projects. And we started communication with Anne Arundel Community College, and we're going to be looking at other schools to potentially provide interns for us.
So, as Tim said, we are already qualifying subcontractors as Building Energy ABM joint venture. Normally, as a company, as an APC contractor, we have procurement in-house, but then we prefer to hire locally all the workers that are going to build or to make all the support for electrical, civil installation. So the process is already started, and we are going to, in parallel, we are going to develop and get all the permits to build the project in the landfill. That will take the next probably 6 months. Then once ready, all those people will be hired to build and manage also the solar plant on our behalf. For a project like that, there will be people working on operation and maintenance or landscape mitigation, and so it's can be probably at 8 to 10 people hired on a permanent basis. Plus, we're going to have other people working as asset management. So those people will be hired to manage the assets, because we have a lot of obligation with the interconnection, the utility company, with the city of Annapolis, because we need to manage this lease agreement properly. So it will be around 10, 15 people working on a permanent basis to run the show once the project will be in operation. Sure. We will start the process to connect the plant. Actually, will be a feasibility study plus the interconnection study. This is normally the longer time frame that we take to develop the project. And then, of course, the recommendation coming back from the utility company will give us more colors about what we have to do to connect the plant on an existing power line.